It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the movies of January 20th, 2006. As you can tell from my voice, we're back to January, ladies and gentlemen, because after 2 weeks where we had a couple of really good movies that came out, welcome back to what January is all about. Movies that are absolutely terrible, do not leave any lasting impact on them whatsoever, and are just there to be dumped out there because because the studios aren't going to release the movies they actually believe in around this time of the year. And case in point with our first movie that we have here, the sequel to Underworld, Underworld Evolution. So following up on the events of the last movie, you have Selena Michael, once again played by Kate Beckinsale and Scott Speedman, who fight to protect the Corvinus bloodline from its hidden past. And yeah, there's only one reason why this movie was a success, because it was released in January. It was a sequel essentially to a movie that did find success in 2003. However, the movie didn't have that much of a lasting legacy, really, honestly. But Sony kept releasing these movies. They were very cheap to make, and people kept going to see it because it's January and there's nothing that comes out in January to really take these movies out of making money for the studio. And that's the sad thing about these movies in general, because there is an idea for something really cool here, but every one of these movies gets more and more lazier and uninventive and uninspired with every passing film. And I try my best to get involved in these movies, but I just never got invested in them in any way, shape, or form. I don't care if Kate Beckinsale is wearing leather spandex throughout all these movies. These are not good movies. These are not engaging movies. The vampire creatures look absolutely horrible. The CG looks terrible. Yeah, this is a prime example of what happens when you don't bang the director and you work on a movie together. This is one of those examples of why these movies are such bad ideas. Whenever the spouses work with each other. And like I said, prime example of what goes wrong with that. And yeah, I've never been a fan of these Underworld movies. This one didn't turn me on to it in any way, shape, or form. So, not much more to say about that one. That is Underworld Evolution. So let's get to a movie that I didn't even know even existed until I looked it up. So I have to probably tell you if I saw it or not. Let's talk about End of the Spear. So what is this movie I've never heard about? Well, it recounts the story of Operation Akua. I think the title's pronounced here AUCA, or Aka maybe, but in which 5 American Christian missionaries attempt to evangelize, good lord, evangelize the Waodani people of the tropical rainforest of eastern Ecuador. This is based off of events in 1956, where 5 male missionaries were speared by a group of the Waodani tribe, and is told from the perspective of C. Saint, the son of Nate Singh, one of the missionaries killed in the encounter, and Minkaya, one tribesman who participated in the attacks. The two formed a lifelong bond together until Minkaya's death in April of 2020. That's literally everything I know about this movie, because I had no idea this movie even existed before I even looked this up. Like, the poster is definitely looking more familiar than I remember it, but yeah, I know nothing about this movie whatsoever, which should pretty much tell you everything you need to know about how forgettable this movie is. I mean, keep in mind, this was around the time when these Christian movies were starting to become more and more box office draws, like The Gospel, Women Thou Art Lucid, the Tyler Perry movie Diary of a Mad Black Woman. But this, I barely remember a damn thing about this movie, so yeah. Not much more to say about this one in particular, because I've never seen it. I can't say if it's any good or not, so with all that said, let's go ahead and move on to our last movie here, because, man, I am tired. It has been a long day here. If you saw my movie stuff episode I did earlier, that's why I'm kind of a little bit out of it right now, because it's been just a long day, but I'm trying to get through this. But let's get to the last one we have here, and that is Albert Brooks in Looking for Comedy in the Muslim World. Yeah, very, very odd plot for a movie here. You have Albert Brooks, who's asked by the United States government to travel to India and Pakistan to find out what makes Muslims laugh. References are made to Brooks' early films, including Finding Nemo, Lost in America, Defending Your Life, and along with his early stand-up comedy material. And upon reaching India, he begins to interview Indians and gathering material for this 500-page essay expected of him from the government. And he's aided by 2 agents who actually help very little, and an Indian woman named Maya, who was hired as their assistants. And, You know, as much as I love Albert Brooks' movies, and I do like a lot of his movies, most of his movies he's directed I've really liked. I like a lot of his movies like Real Life, Modern Romance, Defending Your Life, Mother, criminally underrated gem including The Muse, Lost in America. The guy is a great comedic actor as a whole. He's not a great director, a great comedic actor, just one of the best comedy personalities of all time. And you know, looking forward to this movie in general, I definitely was, but then when I finally saw the film, it just kind of like, it feels like it was sort of out of place of what they were trying to accomplish here. I mean, this is a movie that doesn't feel like it's truly devoid of what makes Albert Brooks' movies so fun as they are. I mean, this is a film that has kind of an interesting idea that could maybe work for a film like this, but the execution just doesn't not work out as well as I think they wanted to, and it just really hurts in the long run. It's a movie that I think has more of an intentions to it, good intentions to it overall, but by the end of it, I was just kind of like, yeah, this is not a very good movie. This is a pretty boring movie when you really look at it in general here, and it's just, you know, I kind of expected a lot more, especially from Albert Brooks, but this is definitely not one of his better movies in general, so, yeah, unfortunately, this is probably the worst film he's ever directed as a whole, so, unfortunately, I have to say, yeah, you could skip this one, but go watch his other directorial efforts. I mean, every other movie he's directed has been either good or great, but this, not so much. Looking for comedy in the Muslim world. And so, on that note, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. We'll wrap January up with some more movies that you kind of expect to see in the month of January. Forgettable movies, movies that were only released around this time because that's the only time they'll make money. Such as Martin Lawrence's sequel, Big Mama's House 2. We also have Nanny McPhee. Another James Franco movie released this month, Annapolis. We also have the Disney documentary Roving Mars, Steven Soderbergh's movie Bubble, and also Piper Perabo in Imagine Me and You. So we've got 6 movies, I believe, to take a look at. 1, 2, 3, 4... Yeah, 6 movies. So we'll take a look at those movies all in the next episode. That'll be coming up tomorrow. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the place on the next page, check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification button if you want to know when new videos come out, because we post here every day. Now, with all that said, I am off. I will see you guys tomorrow, and until then, as always, take care.